Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And today we're going to read on...
He's
looking at me like, what did we decide?
Well, we were discussing two videos. So we want to read on the right-wing voting response to the Supreme Court ruling.
Now, I just wanted to call it MAGA. Gary said, people don't respond when you say MAGA.
Yeah, when you say MAGA, I think I get the impression that our viewers don't want to watch a video with the term MAGA in the title.
Don't blame them for that.
But okay, yeah. So, but specifically,
here's the idea. Basically, the Supreme Court just gave Donald Trump a get-out-of-jail-free card for every court case that's currently out there on him.
Yes.
And you can imagine that the Donald Trump supporters, the MAGA folks out there, are celebrating, as Trump called it, total exoneration.
Total exoneration.
Now, it's not total exoneration. It's you did the crimes. It's just that you may not be held criminally liable for the crimes that you committed.
Total exoneration.
Well, no. That's totally not going to prison.
Yeah.
But you totally did it. Okay, but so the question is, I don't really need to, we can read on the general mood of MAGA. I think we'll know how that goes. But what will be the impact in the election in November? In other words, do the Trump supporters start getting a little complacent?
Yeah.
He's
leading in all the polls.
You have his court cases and his popularity goes up and they send him a bunch of money. But now he's not going to be going to court cases, and so they can go out on their boats and drive their trucks and throw rocks at people or whatever they do that gives them fun and entertainment. And will that take away some of their motivation in November
to show up at the polls?
Exactly,
for entertainment purposes only.
So and summer's only starting, so there's going to be more stuff coming on here. Yeah. Oh, and then you've got Steve Bannon, and he's reported to prison. So they've got 4 months of Steve Bannon not pouring poison into their ears.
Yep.
So the echo chamber is a little less echoey. So,
all right.
MAGA, how are they reacting now that Donald Trump has been, quote unquote, totally exonerated? In Donald Trump's own words, by the Supreme Court ruling. It's quite the gift.
It's a new beginning.
In some ways, Trump has raised a lot of money off of these convictions.
Oh, no.
But now he doesn't need to raise money off of them anymore. So this means they have money to spend on themselves.
Yeah, we're down to one coin.
Yeah, a big coin.
And I need a new exhaust system for my diesel F-250 Power Stroke diesel dually.
I think they've given Trump a lot of money, and now they can spend their money on themselves.
Yes,
but yeah, it's an absolute gift that's been handed to Trump. Yeah, it's a gift that's been handed to Trump by the Supreme Court.
Dreams fulfilled,
and this fills their hopes, wishes, and dreams fulfilled for the MAGA folks. Now they've gotten everything they wanted. Trump's got everything he wanted. Everything is right with the world.
Yep,
and
the plan came to fruition.
Yeah, they will just continue marching forward. Project 2025 is next, which I'm sure that they're too dumb enough to actually bother reading on. They'll just wait till people tell them what Project 2025 is.
Gosh.
And they'll full-throatedly support it, not realizing they're giving away all their rights and all their freedoms because they wear a red hat.
Yes.
Okay, in the past, how's MAGA going to react to this Supreme Court conviction or overturning or their ruling? In the past, you got the judging of values, the looking at. They want America the way they want America, and the Supreme Court having a 6-3 advantage for their team, they think that again that this is a great valuable thing. They've got the golden goose here, or at least the tree that money grows off of. And they're just admiring the money tree here. It's like, oh, that's amazing. We've got this money tree. Trump was the best thing ever for this country. All these court cases are now gone. All the things we were worried about.
And our hero has been freed.
Yeah, and they're feeling good. They're feeling their oats. they've had some great news between the debates and everything else. They've had great news for like the last week.
Yeah.
They were very distraught when Trump was convicted of those 34 felonies. And now their hopes renewed because of the Supreme Court. The overarching energy is the King of Cups. They're probably less concerned about Biden at this point.
Yep.
Simply because, they might have some concern that Biden will try and do something with his newly found powers. That would require them paying attention and going to news sources enough to actually realize that Biden has newly found powers.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. They haven't. I don't think they bridged that gap yet. No, I think what they're just basically saying, Biden's old. It was proven in that debate. It's just a matter of time before he gets replaced.
Yeah. It's like Biden's old and feeble. They'll be celebrating for sure. The lesson to be learned: 4 swords. Things are gonna, maybe the news gets quiet. Maybe they get quiet. It's like, they've had a lot of outrage that they've had to deal with, and now that they've won, and Joe Biden is sleepy and old and is going to be replaced, and the Democrats are in turmoil, they can finally relax and check out.
They can put their brains in neutral for a little. Well, that was not a great analogy, but they can relax from the echo chamber a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be that they're going to retreat. They're going to go do their fun things.
They're going to go skiing.
Welcome to summer.
They're going to go do some boating on the lake.
Yeah, and then the outcome is the Hermit card here. Things in Trump's court cases are probably going to go quiet, as they have to now decide if the court cases go forward. And then the Hermit card is the outcome. The MAGA supporters are they're ready to move on to something else.
Yeah.
They've done the court thing. They're bored with the court thing. Now it's time to go out and find some new adventures here. So, how are they reacting to the Supreme Court?
They're happy.
They're digging it. Their team won the game.
Yay!
And they're not looking at, the rematch that's coming in 4 months' time, because they've already won. They know they've won. They know their guy's going to win. So they don't have to try as hard. They don't have to organize their truck rallies.
It's a slam dunk now.
Their trunk rallies and their boat rallies.
Because anyone with a pair of eyes can see that Trump is the only candidate that's anyone with a brain could possibly vote for.
Anybody who's a true patriot, anyway.
He is. Oh, and all those Jan 6 patriots, they'll all get released, exonerated.
Okay, so what's going to be the impact of this come the November
elections? This is where we really wanted to go with this. Are they going to get complacent and not show up in mass, or are they going to show up? I mean, they historically they've been pretty good about showing up.
Yeah. And now maybe they think they've got it in the bag.
Yeah.
The Sun card. Okay, so truths are going to be revealed here, maybe over the summer. King of Swords. That's usually my Jack Smith card, but let's just say some harsh truths.
Yes.
That are undeniable truths are going to start coming out on here. And underneath it all, the underlying energy is the Two of Wands. Things that's not even on their horizon yet.
Yeah, decisions that they need to make.
Actions that need to be taken that weren't taken. So, Two of Wands is about preparation. It's about doing your homework and looking towards the future and understanding what's going on here.
What are my choices?
And again, so what's going to happen in November? Truth is going to be exposed, and it's going to be a harsh truth to them, because there was some non-planning it had something to do with planning or not planning things.
Boy.
Yeah. Pass, you got the Queen of Swords. It's living with the consequences of your actions. So, if you get, so this is almost like complacency. On the low energy, this would be complacency. Mm-hmm. We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So what happens in November when the Democrats sweep? That's what that is. King of Swords. Congratulations, you were asleep. The Democrats swept. Why did they sweep? Because from now through November, you guys didn't do what you needed to do. You didn't do your planning. You didn't do your homework. And these are the consequences of your action. Basically, if you don't show up and vote, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, you got.
The current situation is the delusions.
Trump is way ahead in every single poll.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's just it. Trump's way ahead in the polls. Biden is sleepy. The Democrats are in chaos and turmoil. Trump is totally exonerated. But this is also, this is that disbelief that when the election comes and Biden wins again by even more votes than the last time, they're just going to be dumbfounded. Of course, you know what's coming next is going to be the election was stolen.
Of course.
But they're not going to believe what they see because they've got this in the bag. No, that sleepy old guy that we didn't need to worry ourselves about or be concerned. Well, maybe you should have been concerned.
That is absolutely amazing.
You've underestimated him yet again. He's 2-0 now against your boy.
Yeah, and he's much better at election fraud now that he's had one under the belt. You know?
And he's in charge of the levers of power government, so Biden can do all the election fraud he wants.
Yeah, it's completely presumptive executive immunity.
Or it could also be that Biden's making sure these elections are as fair as possible.
Yep.
With that one. The lesson to be learned is the Page of Swords. Y'all didn't consider this to be a threat.
Yeah.
You treated it like it was no big deal. You went on your lives, which is great. You're allowed to go on with your lives. But, we've got the Page of Swords is what you thought you were facing, but you got the King and the Queen of Swords. You got the whole court here other than the Knight. Lesson to be learned, you guys are idiots. You believed, you won. You got overconfident, you won the game. And all you had to do pretty much was show up. If you just showed up, you automatically won. Mm-hmm. And that's not what happened. And this could also be that a lot of young people and women came out and voted.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't expecting that.
Wah, wah, wah.
The outcome is the death card. Trump loses the election.
Death of Maga.
And... well, it's going to be certainly a blow. The king is dead, and good luck with your Project 2025 and instituting a national religion on us, too.
I mean, it could be the death of MAGA if we as voters vote the death of MAGA. In other words, it's got to be such a one-sided affair that the Republicans are like, this MAGA thing just ain't working for us. We've lost the last 3 elections following the MAGA flag, and we've got to go a different direction.
Now, MAGA does not work without Donald Trump. They are a force because of Donald Trump.
Yeah, they're united by Trump.
And the minute Trump is not part of the scene anymore, MAGA is greatly diminished. That doesn't mean it goes away. It just means it's greatly diminished because I would argue, most of the people in MAGA are there for Trump.
Yep.
If Trump were to go to the great McDonald's in the sky or flee the country or basically become politically irrelevant, they become irrelevant as well.
Yep.
They're not going to go out and vote for DeSantis.
No.
Or Ted Cruz or something like that. They don't care about those guys.
Yeah. I mean, that was readily apparent in the primaries. DeSantis, 2 years ago was looking like he was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he got reelected in Florida as governor of Florida, and he was riding high, and his star just really fell. He took on Disney for the whole woke thing, and I don't think that helped him much.
No, and then Trump attacked him, and
yeah, and so DeSantis at one point was looking like the
DeSantis.
What's that?
DeSantis.
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 DeSantis. He was at one point. He was looking like
cross-dressing with George Santos with his little white patent leather boots.
He was the rising star of the Republican Party.
Now he's not.
He's gone, and it definitely there was a fracture in the Republican Party because Good, the head of the MAGA folks,
Good,
the MAGA folks in Congress, he got voted out. He lost his election by 350 votes.
His primary
election, yeah. And so there was a fracture in the MAGA party where there are the Trump loyalists, and then there's the super ultra conservatives who aren't necessarily Trumpers, but do like the far right policy.
Bob Good's a special exception though, because he was one of the 8 people that voted out McCarthy. So McCarthy went after him, and then. I guess
he supported DeSantis.
And he supported DeSantis, so Trump went after him. So he got it from both ends, as it were. But no, with the bringing this back on with the Maggie, I just think they get complacent. Everything's in the bag.
Yeah.
We're good. And they're going to be quite shocked when they find out it's not so good.
So maybe we should do a reading on the future of MAGA after the 2024 election.
I want to sort of more. I was going to go with what's the lesson MAGA was supposed to learn.
Okay, that's
from
fine.
This. Again, MAGA, no Trump, no MAGA. There'll be some core group of people that will call themselves MAGA, and they will align themselves with other MAGA-like leaders. But like 1 in 3, it's not going to be 1 in 3. It's going to be like 1 in 10, or something along those lines, or 1 in 6. More than half are there for Trump.
Yeah,
and no Trump. They're not going.
Yeah.
Some root for the laundry, others root for the player. What's the lesson that MAGA was supposed to learn from this? This card wants to stay on top, so we will stay on top. Okay. That card wanted to stay on top, and there it is.
The Trump card.
The Devil card. What is MAGA supposed to learn? The Devil card. Let's throw all of them and then see what we got. Queen of Cups. So that's a problem. And then... And they were commenting.
Oh my God! There's 2 Trump cards there.
Okay, so what were they supposed to learn? They made a deal with the devil, and they were voluntarily aligning themselves. Now, funny thing is, not all evangelicals are MAGA, not all MAGA are evangelicals, but evangelicals and MAGA are 2 groups that have really voluntarily aligned themselves with Trump. Mm-hmm. And I always find the irony of these groups that profess to be Christians and follow the teachings of Christ, follow some guy who is the antithesis of the teachings of Christ, against the teachings of Christ, almost like you were going to say anti-Christ-like teachings. But they were volunteered on that one. What was the lesson MAGA was supposed to learn? Trump was never in their best interest. He expressed their anger, their hatred, their vile, their vitriol, all the dark nastiness.
He made it okay to...
Made it okay
to put all that nastiness out there for the public to see.
And here's the thing. They were feeling left out, ignored, isolated, poor, and they wanted to share that ugliness with everybody else. But did it actually do anything? Did it raise everybody up? No. They tried to drag everybody down.
Yeah.
It's a crab bucket. If you're familiar with a crab bucket, you don't need to put... If you have a bucket of crabs, you don't need to put a lid on the bucket. Because anytime a crab tries to crawl out, the other crabs see him try to escape, and they pull that crab right back into the bucket. So these are not people that are interested in improving their situation. They're just interested in dragging people down into the rabbit hole with them and make them suffer, because misery loves company.
Yes. I'm suffering, so you should have to suffer too.
They should have been opening up and trying to expand, but instead they're contracting. Queen of Cups, their emotions were totally played with. They were manipulated emotionally. Trump is very good at that. He is the most amazing power I've ever seen for getting people to do stuff that gets them into trouble.
Yeah.
And they do it voluntarily. They will bear any burden for this guy. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing with the MAGA supporters. They're emotionally manipulative, and they will bust they're hardworking people who will bust their backs for somebody even if it's the devil, because the devil gave them a little bit of attention here. One of the things that I've said in the past that didn't sit well with people, but I will stand by it. You need both parties, and here's why. The Democrats, or at least the progressives especially, they're dreamers. They have an ideal of what utopia looks like, and they want to get there. But they're kind of, I'm speaking in generalizations now, they're kind of a little bit wishy-washy. If you've ever been in a business meeting, they would claim they're like idea guys, but they don't actually know or have the drive to get it done. They have the intellectual thing to get it done, but actually doing it.
Yeah, actually, the practical aspect of putting it into play.
Yeah, it's one thing to design a garden. It's another thing to actually get out there,
dig up the dirt,
pull the weeds, build the raised flower beds, buy the plants. Now, the Democrats would be, oh yeah, we want to buy the plants. We know I want this one and this one and this one. But it's another thing altogether to put in the irrigation, dig the holes to put the plants in. And
as a Republican, how are we going to pay for this?
Exactly. So the analogy I gave before was like planning a vacation. To me, the Democrats are really good at coming up with let's go to Cinque Terre. And they do the research, and it's like we can fly into Milan, we can drive down through here, we can get to Cinque Terre, we can visit this, and this, and then we can take a boat over to Rome, and they got the whole thing planned out. This great 4-week vacation to Cinque Terre. The Republicans are like, okay, you plan the vacation, great. It's like a husband and wife. And I'm going to put the wife as the dreamer, the planner. Now the husband's going to do the legwork. Could be the other way around in your relationship.
Yeah, sure.
And then the other spouse is going to go in and say, all right, here are the cost of the flights. Here's the cost of where we're going to, the places, the hotels you want to stay at, the place we're going to, the boat ride to Rome, place we stay at Rome, it's like I'm comfortable with a budget of $8,000 on this trip. We're at 20.
Yeah.
We need to cut back and get this thing here, and you can do this, that. It's like, give me that list of core things that you want. And let's see if we can come in budget. And maybe they come in with this one and they find out it's at $10,000 and they budgeted $8,000 for this trip. Okay, you've cut it down to the bare essentials here. You've cut down the time. You've cut down the boat ride and stuff like that. And maybe it's just what it is. It's like, okay, instead of going in August, maybe we go in October. When you're on the off season, the weather will still be good enough. The flights are less expensive. The hotels are less expensive. It'll be less crowded. Yeah, we'll have to take time off from work. Yeah, we're going to have to find a sitter because the kids are in school or something like that. Or the kids are coming with us and they'll miss 2 weeks of school. But now we can afford it.
That sounds like compromise.
Yeah. But it's the point is that you can look at the MAGA folks and you can look at the Republicans and say, who needs them anyways? They're a bunch of fascist jerks who don't really believe in democracy. But you know what they are? They're the movers. They're the people that actually do the grunt work and get all the hard lifting done. Yeah. So don't throw them out with the bathwater. Yeah, it's distasteful. Yeah, getting yelled at and jeered at by these nincompoops who do not appreciate the consequences of the things that they're rooting for. But that doesn't mean they're not valuable. Yeah. It just means that they've been bamboozled.
Yeah.
And they're willingly being bamboozled. They want to be bamboozled. Why? They don't feel freaking appreciated. They bust their butts, and what type of appreciation do they get for it? This is why they're pissed off about Pride for the month of June. Because it's like, nobody celebrates them. Why do the gay people get a whole entire freaking month and parades? Well, because these folks, they feel like they're oppressed. They want to be oppressed. But they're not oppressed. They don't understand what a gay person has to go through 24/7. It never turns off. And for some reason, because they feel oppressed and unappreciated, they lack empathy for anybody else who's marginalized.
That goes back to your crab bucket.
Yeah, and it goes back to the crab bucket. Fine. Oh, gay people are marginalized, huh? Well, come back into the crab bucket and join the marginalized peasants.
Yeah.
And that's the other funny thing is, basically for a lot of conservatives, in medieval times, they'd be peasants. They're out working the land, rolling around in the mud. And every once in a while, Dennis, the constitutional peasant, will come out there and point out that they're being repressed.
Yes.
But they're putting nobility in there. It's like, well, if I'm going to be a peasant, we might as well have nobility on there. And at least I get to choose who my nobleman is and who the king is. And there's no women lying around in pawns distributing swords.
That's the basis for government.
It should be a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
Be quiet.
Okay, that was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The folks that know. The folks that don't know,
you need to watch it.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, type in Monty Python, Holy Grail constitutional peasant, and you'll get
the whole skit.
You get the whole skit.
Well, that was actually well acted and
yes,
as opposed to what
by
we
professionals, paid professionals in Scotland.
Indeed.
But there's a lesson to be learned. And they've voluntarily done this. I think they've taken their eye off the prize. You, as the Republican, what are your thoughts? I've ranted enough.
Oh, I get a word in now.
No, you don't.
Oh, damn it!
How
are we going to pay for all this?
This was my monologue.
No, I just think.
Come up with your own.
No, I think you do need both sides because you need the balance.
Yeah.
You know, it's these social programs are great. I'm not against the social programs, but how are you going to pay for it? You can't just keep issuing bonds, issuing debt. You can't just keep taxing people. At some point, you got to say, okay, you know what? You work for a living. You earn a salary. You want to actually get home at the end of the day with some of that salary left to spend on stuff that you want to spend it on versus what Big Brother tells you is what you really need to spend it on.
Would you say we are currently there with revenue gathering? Because you have two ways. You can cut spending, or you can gather new revenue. With Trump's tax cuts to the corporations and the ultra wealthy.
Oh, I think Trump's tax plan was a complete disaster. Yeah. Unless you are the 1%ers or a corporation.
1%.
Yeah. It's just I truly believe that the very wealthy are not paying nearly enough, and Warren Buffett agrees.
Yeah, with great wealth, just like with great power comes great responsibility. Same thing with wealth. With great wealth comes great responsibility. And right now, starting with Reagan's trickle down economics, all that wealth stayed up top. It did not. Trickle down was an overestimation. of how much money would come down.
It got shut down tight. And I think that those that have more or have been more blessed financially, it's okay to help those that are a little less fortunate. And the corporations as well. Corporations are not individual entities. They're taxed like they are, but they aren't. It's a collection of people's hard work and effort to put out a product and earn a profit. And it's okay to share some of that profit with your shareholders, but you need to give some of that back to the government to help the people that haven't been on that wagon of having prosperity.
Having corporations pay their fair share of tax. And again, we're asking for a fair share. I see no reason why the company I work for doesn't pay the same percentage in taxes that I pay.
Yeah, amen.
That would be lovely. There would be a lot of you can have a lot of free college,
Social Security,
and benefits and stuff like that. Veteran housing. There's a lot of good that can come out of this. Now, the ultra wealthy, the oligarchs of the Americas, will say, "Oh, that's wealth redistribution. That's un-American." And that's where we're at right now. They found you could buy congressmen. They found you could buy senators. And apparently you could buy Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
And this is where we're at.
Yep.
Get out, register to vote, vote blue, get the Democrats in there. I'm not saying the Democrats are the end-all, be-all, super-duper party, but right now they seem to be the only party willing to defend democracy and put some guardrails back in place so that we will have a functioning democracy, even if the country decides they want conservative leadership again.
Yeah. So we can fight nice again.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you very much for watching this video. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I love read the comments. Fire away. I'll answer to as many as I can.
All right. Thank you very much for dealing with this last 10 minutes.
My God, this is what a rant filled. There's hardly any snark and full of rant. The next one will be better, I promise.
Yeah, or not. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.